I wanted to do a video talking about music from April that I really enjoyed. Now, it's not music that came out in April or anything like that, just things that I listened to, mostly albums, because that's kind of how I listen to most music, in the form of album by album. So I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while, but I didn't really know how to go about it or if anyone would be interested. But I've been wanting to talk about some music, so let's talk about it. I'm splitting the topics up into genres, so I'm going to have like goth and post-punk music, and then metal, and then other. For goth music, I talked about this in my Q&A, but I'd really been listening to The Cure a lot during that time, more specifically their first 3 albums. The album in particular that I really liked, and I've liked for a while, is Pornography. And it's basically their really dark, angry album. My favorite song on that album was probably 100 Years or 100 Years. And I also really enjoyed A Strange Day. So I'm going to play those for you, and I hope it'll allow me to play music. It's a really good album. A lot of their earlier stuff is really good. Like, that's the kind of sound that I really enjoy from bands. The darker sound, the like kind of sinister riffs, kind of like atmospheric. That's the kind of stuff I really like. The next band is Siouxsie and the Banshees, and I kind of started listening from the beginning of their discography, from like the earlier stuff, and that's what I'm trying to move through, like earlier to later. So I've heard some of these albums before, but I wanted to kind of point out some things that I really liked that maybe not as many people have heard of. The first album of theirs is The Scream. It was more punk sounding than a lot of their other stuff, but that makes sense, I guess, because it's earlier. Their next album, I believe it's their next album, Join Hands, one of their songs that I really enjoyed was Placebo Effect. Next album is Kaleidoscope, and this is the one that has Happy House on it. And, but there are also some really other awesome songs on it. One of my favorites is Clock Face. And so this month I've been moving through other Siouxsie things. I've already listened to Juju again, which is my favorite album. And then the next band that I had never listened to before is Specimen. I had always heard of them, but I'd heard Kiss Kiss Bang Bang when I started trying to learn about goth music, and I actually didn't really like it that much when I first listened to it a few years ago. And that was kind of like it for a lot of things for me. Like, I didn't like a lot of the goth vocals for some reason. My taste has really changed a lot since then. And so I ended up listening to their Batastrophe EP, and I really liked that. And so obviously their most famous is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and that's still probably my favorite song on that. But I also liked a song called Returning from a Journey, and it's kind of sad because I looked at their discography and they didn't really release that much music compared to other bands that I've seen. The last goth band that I'm going to talk about is Alien Sex Fiend, which I also had a hard time getting into when I first listened to them. But I ended up listening to, I believe, 2 albums, but I don't really remember if I listened to the second album. But the first album that I did listen to and really remembered a lot of the things from was Maximum Security. And the first song that I really liked was the first song on the album, which is I'm Doing Time in a Maximum Security Twilight Home. And that one I really enjoyed. And then the second song I liked, they have 2 versions on the album, is Do You Sleep? That one just really caught my attention. And then we get into the metal music, and the first band that I'm going to talk about is Obliviscaris, and they are kind of they're kind of a progressive melodic metal band with death metal influences and black metal influences. They kind of have a lot going on. I listened to their album Portal of Eye, and it's really good. They're very musically talented individuals. They have a lot of violin and stuff in their music, and I enjoy that. It's not the typical orchestral or symphonic type band because I'm not really a huge fan of symphonic metal, but this one was a bit different. A song that really stood out for me was Forget Not. But this song really, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I will say that the clean vocals are not my favorite in the world. I don't feel like they go with the song that much, but it's not like they're bad. The vocals themselves are very good. I just don't know if they fit that well with the rest of the music, but you know, everything else about it was amazing, and I would highly recommend that band and that album. And then the next band is Black Sabbath, and I decided to listen to more Black Sabbath because I had been going on the metal subreddit, Shreddit. I don't really post on Reddit or anything very much, but I do go on there to look at things. And so I went to their wiki page, and they have a lot of bands that are good to start with if you want to start with the beginnings of metal and kind of go into that, because I hadn't really delved much into metal. Like, one of my favorite bands is metal. I wanted to kind of expand my metal horizons a little bit because I have always stuck with the same few bands, and I wanted to start with where things came from. So I went from the beginning again with this and listened to their first few albums. I think I've listened to 5 of them so far, of their beginning albums, of their first albums. And what really struck out on their self-titled album was their self-titled song, which is the first song. So it's Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath from Black Sabbath. That song's been stuck in my head so much. I can't believe I've never heard it. It is like the doom song. It is amazing, and and then their Paranoid album is the one where I'd heard a bunch of things from before. So War Pigs, I still love that song, and the song Paranoid, but I also really loved another song that I don't think I'd heard before, which is Electric Funeral, and that one was really good. It's about nuclear warfare, but it's like the guitar in that is crazy. I love it. The next one is Masters of Reality, and in this one, a song that really stuck out to me was Children of the Grave. And in that song, the drums are just crazy. Like, they're just so cool. I love how they sound. And then the next song is Into the Void, which is the last song in the album. I also really enjoyed that one. Okay, and then that is it with metal. And then just the last things I want to talk about are other music that I've listened to. So my fiance recently got the new Gorillaz album at the end of April, which is called Humanz. And I've actually liked the Gorillaz a lot for a long time. I listened to Humanz, and most of the album didn't really stick out to me that much. It was kind of not all similar sounding, but it was a little repetitive at times. But 2 songs really stuck out to me. The first song is Saturn's Bars, which is like probably one of the more popular songs of the album at this point. They have a crazy music video that's pretty cool. It's kind of trippy. That song I really enjoyed. There's so much, so much to it, I feel like. It's just very interesting and intriguing. And then the next song was Charger, which I hadn't really heard a lot of people talk about. I really enjoyed that. It's kind of cacophonic, but not in a way that's annoying or like, cover your ears. It's like in a pleasant way. And I really enjoyed that about it. It's kind of got a lot going on, but it all comes together very well. Alright, so that's some of the highlights of my musical journeys in April. I hope that you guys maybe heard something that you liked from this. Let me know if you want me to do this like every month, because I think this would be really fun. I really enjoyed making this video. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. And I really enjoy Slipknot, and I enjoy... oh no.